What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terence Crawford, Isrial Modrimov. This is the fight prediction along with the keys of victory. And of course, you know these guys are fighting this weekend. And before we get to any of that, we have to bring on the classic tale of the tape. That's right. As you guys can see, Terence Crawford with 40 wins is compared to Isrial's only 10. No losses for both fighters. It shows here 21 KOs for Terence Crawford, which that is not correct. It's 31 knockouts for Terence Crawford compared to 7 KOs for Modrimov. Okay, 40 total bouts with Terence Crawford compared to 11 because we did have one draw for Modrimov. Okay, and we'll talk about that here in a second. And 64% knockout percentage for Modrimov, which more than likely is 70 or 75% for Terence Crawford, since I had to counterpunch this information. 5'8" for both fighters, even though Terence Crawford is a little taller, maybe by a half an inch. 70 inches in reach for Terence Crawford compared to 68-inch reach for Modrimov. Orthodox for orthodox, coming and hailing from Omaha, Nebraska in the United States for Terence Crawford, and Chiva, Uzbekistan for Modrimov. September 28th, 1987 is the birth date of Terence Crawford compared to February 16th of 1995. And let me counterpunch. I think this is going to be a good fight. And I think the fight is really consistent of, once again, Terence Crawford moving up in weight. And it's always a big question mark on how far can you go without the power beginning to show. Okay, we thought that about he was at 135. We thought, okay, Postal will get him at 140, someone like that, or Danny Garcia. Well, that fight never happened, but we were fooled. Okay, he unified the belts at 140, then went to 147, and we thought the same thing. A lot of people did. Oh man, he's going to be too small. He's not going to be able to do the same things, and he stopped each and every fighter at 147. Now at 154, amongst unifying the whole division, this question mark and question has to stand again, and it's legitimate because he is against a guy that he only has 11 fights, but he is hungry, he's strong, he's disciplined, he's heavy-handed, and he is pretty much a replica of Gennady Golovkin. So the treat for me personally, we get to see a Gennady Golovkin-esque like fighter fighting a fighter that has similar pedigree to Floyd, Money Mayweather. Okay, because remember when Floyd had the option or the opportunity to go to 160 to take on Golovkin, and everybody said no, and he didn't go. This is pretty much the closest to that because of the styles, okay? Even though Terence Crawford has his own way of style bending when he fights, it's still the IQ that I'm talking about, okay? And I looked at both fighters, a couple of their fights yesterday, and Terence Crawford is a lot smarter than people think he is. That's why he's able to find holes in your defense. And the question is there or are there holes in Modrimov's defense? Yes, it is. There are holes in his defense because of how he attacks. He's from Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe fighters are known for switching, okay? Shifting, which is actually called, which they change stances in order to get better leverage on their shots, okay? And Modrimov is very, very, he uses that a lot, you know. Pitrook uses it. Gennady Golovkin uses it. A lot of fighters use it. Vasily Lomachenko uses it. A lot of these fighters do that, and from that nation. And it's good to a certain degree if you know how to keep your hands up, and a lot of them don't. And I think what happens is when they shift their feet, they're creating a space of opportunity to land a shot themselves, a hard shot, okay? Normally it's with a hook or an uppercut, but they're also leaving themselves open. And I think that will be Isrial's downfall. What I've learned about Isrial is his ability to take shots. You know, I think Terence Crawford hits a lot harder than people give him credit for because he knows when to punch. I've seen Modrimov in there with a particular opponent when he fought Soro. Okay, Soro gave him a very good fight. He was a bit taller like Terence is. You know, he didn't use his jab as much, which I feel he could have and should have done. You know, and they had a very controversial fight in, I think it was Uzbekistan, I think they fought. But, you know, and the second fight was stopped over a draw. And so it was really never truly rectified who was the better fighter. But Modrimov was very aggressive. His body punches are very good, and I think he's going to need that in his keys of victory. However, talking and dealing with a fighter like Crawford, he has to be careful from getting countered upstairs from doing so, because he is very, very aggressive. And that aggressiveness comes overzealousness. And that overzealousness will get you in trouble because it will leave you open too long because you're trying to do too much. Okay, I don't see Modrimov trying to outbox Terence Crawford. I just don't see it. I see him imposing his will as the bigger fighter, coming in, you know, shooting that jab to the pit of the stomach, which he's known for. You know, jab to the stomach, left hook upstairs and back to the body, which he's known for. You know, he's a very versatile, or should I say, complete fighter. Okay. He likes to mix up those punches. His punch variation is very, very advanced, okay? And I haven't seen Modrimov really hurt also. So the question is, can Terence do it? And can he hurt Terence? Well, based on what I've seen, these punches are landing heavy to these fighters. But to be fair, Modrimov has had some tough cookies in his on his resume. These guys were not there to play with him, and they haven't been like build-up fights, you know, like Deontay Wilder or Daniel Dubois, you know, and just getting guys in there that just don't know what the hell they're doing. No, he's been in there with some very tough guys. You know, they look very tough taking shots. You know, and it makes you wonder, like, okay, well, how can these shots be applied to someone like Terence Crawford? Because that's exactly who he's going to fight. I think it comes down to size, pressure for Modrimov. Sure, activity, because he does throw punches in bunches. But I think that activity will get him in trouble. And I think IQ and boxing ability for Crawford. But understand something about Crawford and Modrimov. Both guys have the keys of victory to finish the show. So if Modrimov hurts Crawford, yeah, he's going to go for the kill. And of course, we know Crawford, if he hurts you, he's a good finisher as well. Very good finisher. So it's basically kill or be killed. You know, old lion, seasoned lion versus the young lion. At 1995, born in 1995, how old does that make him? 28, 29? You know, he feels it's his time. And Modrimov, you know, looked up to Crawford, and he has the opportunity to do so. So you know he's going to be firing with all cylinders. That's what makes this fight so exciting. My prediction is if Crawford can hurt Modrimov, he's finished. If Modrimov can hurt Crawford, Crawford may be finished. Because at that point, we'll know what Crawford will be able to do when he gets hurt. Because we've seen him hurt. We've seen him against Mean Machine and Gamboa and what happened in those fights. And he got pissed off and he switched another gear. So we have possibly the opportunity to see that in this upcoming fight. You guys tell me what you think of this fight prediction. Keys of victory between Terence Crawford and Isrial Modrimov. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.
Peace.